go. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, hi, hi.
Welcome to the live stream. Oh, you can see outside a little bit.
You can a little bit. Probably some of it is just a reflection of the room, though. I think this stuff, maybe. This light, that light. But you can see a little bit of their city lights.
Welcome, everyone. We are coming to you from Vietnam tonight for us. Probably morning or afternoon for you. And just want to say welcome to everyone that's already in the chat.
Yes, welcome, everybody.
Thank you so many of you. We are wrapping up our week. Our meetup was here in Da Nang, Vietnam, and we had 52 people with us. So it was amazing. Hey, Ted, welcome. And thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you, Ted.
That was amazing. We just did see that. And we will do that. We will go get a very nice meal in your honor. There's quite a few good places.
There are.
Allie was just eyeing a steakhouse down the road. That's one thing that we don't normally get a lot of, so we've been eyeing that.
Yep,
so,
we do like steakhouse. We don't eat there very often because there aren't a ton, and sometimes they're like crazy expensive. But they do have Australian beef, which is actually quite delicious. Sometimes they have Japanese Wagyu also, which is also quite delicious. But the prices also come with the deliciousness. So we'll be excited to go and have a delicious Australian steak probably.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ted.
Welcome to everyone. Some of you are here in Vietnam with us. We got Philly and the Brain in the chat. I just love that name. Philly and the Brain.
We actually just talk about you guys just to say Philly and the Brain.
I do. Sometimes I just talk about Philly. I'm like, did you see what Philly and the Brain did?
I'm like, was it Philly or the Brain?
Yeah. And it is a genius marketing name.
It is.
It is. We'll talk about that one day, but it is really genius. So welcome, Philly and the Brain. We got Robert in New York City and Brenda from Downsize to Upsize.
Hello.
Hello from Deborah in Dead Sea, Jordan. Wow. Cherie. Hey, Cherie. She's in Vietnam.
Not too far from us. We just saw you.
David Harrell, welcome. David, are you back in the U.S. now?
I know they had a lot of flights to get back.
And he says go to La Cabana in Da Nang. We have not been there yet.
Oh, okay. I think that's somebody else was mentioning that too.
Ooh, Argentinian steak. We will try that.
Okay. Enough said. We do like a good Argentinian steak.
Yeah, wave to the camera. There ended up being 52 people in Da Nang. So it was a really good turnout. We were expecting 53 and we had 52. So, yeah, pretty much everybody showed up.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was a really fun group of people too. Kept us on our toes, which was good. We had a lot of fun. We did massages. We did all kinds of stuff that just kind of, all types of opportunities popped up. And the other really cool thing that popped up as well was they are having the Da Nang International Fireworks Festival, and it's a competition, like an international competition, and different countries do like fireworks show. There's two different Vietnam teams, two teams representing Vietnam, and I can't remember who all of them are, but I know one of them was like Denmark. I know one of them was Japan. So every Saturday, two teams face off and they have a fireworks show at the river, which is right behind me. And we got to see it last night. We checked in here, and just a few minutes after we checked in, they asked us if we liked our room and that they wanted to let us know that we would have a view of the fireworks, and they did not lie, because we sat here in our pajamas watching the show from our room last night. We were like, I can't believe we see this. It was amazing. Very cool.
Hey, Retired Life Mexico, welcome. In Portland, not Mexico.
Oh.
Unless there's a Portland, Mexico, but I kind of doubt it.
I don't think there is.
Welcome, Lydia. Welcome, David, Nikki, and Tyke and Tina. Hey, Tyke and Tina.
Hello.
Still in Da Nang, Tyke and Tina.
Oh.
He's still at the original hotel.
Oh. I'll wave to you. You're back
It's
there
over there.
somewhere.
You might be on. You might be on screen.
Yeah, your hotel's, I think, over here. We're across the river.
Yeah, we've moved. We're moving again, but yeah,
We're moving around. We're gonna see if people can find us. Just kidding.
we're trying out different
different
hotels.
locations. Yeah.
Hey, Scripty Monica, how did you organize activities with so many people? That's a good question. So we did play it by ear a little bit, and we did.
Had a rough plan with the plan.
We had a plan. We had a plan, and then you got to be pretty flexible with something like this. 52 people. Honestly, there were people that showed up that we didn't know were coming, and there were people that were supposed to be there that couldn't make it. So it was like there were 52, but it was a little bit of a mishmash. So we kind of front loaded the activities, and we set up some groups for dinners and got everybody to meet each other, and then after that we let people do their own thing, and I think that worked out pretty well because we took our responsibility to let people make connections, facilitate that, and then let people take control. We did not micromanage 52 people because that would have been very difficult. So that's kind of the same approach we're going to take in Hong Kong, I think, because it did work pretty well, I think. So, yes. Okay, so there's another thing going on here today, which is if you see next to Brenda from Downsize to Upsize, she has got a number 3 next to her, and now Cherie is number 1.
Look at you.
And the second new competition that's running. So we've been away for 2 weeks from the live stream. They've introduced this new competition. And so it's keeping track of who's winning the live chat. And so Cherie is winning. Brenda is in 3rd. I can check my little tab here and see who's in 2nd. Monica Stevens is in 2nd right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you get points, though. So,
I think just
by interacting.
Commenting, yeah.
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 Whatever Cherie did, she took over first place. But
and
yeah.
You're right, Cherie. The group chat did take on a life of its own.
So, I don't know if there's a prize for winning this, or if we're just gonna keep track of that ourselves. I don't know, but yeah.
We'll figure something out.
It is very interesting. It's very interesting. So yeah, you get XP points. I don't know what that means, but yeah, the crowns are for apparently doing good things in the chat.
I guess it gives a crown for 1, 2, and 3.
1st, 2nd, and 3rd has a chat. Can you guys see who's in like 4th, 5th, and 6th? Because we can see. Retired Life Mexico is in 5th right now. So probably one more comment. She'll be up to 3rd. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so it's a little distracting because now I'm just trying to keep track of who's in 1st.
Who's in 1st? Who's on 1st? Who's on 2nd?
Yeah. Yeah, Brenda, the Italy cruise. There's a lot of people on that cruise.
All of a sudden, there's quite a bit of popularity there. It was already pretty good, and now there's more. We've got quite a few more submissions for that one too. It's going to be a pretty good cruise. We'll have some more details on that too coming up soon.
Hey, thank you, Philly in the Brain.
Thank you, Philly in the Brain.
You guys are awesome. And yeah, the Italy cruise, we are talking to Princess tomorrow, and then we're going to have more stuff out about it. But there's a lot of people on that cruise. I think there's 40, maybe. There's more on the Iceland cruise. There's
Which is kind of crazy.
The Iceland cruise is crazy. There's 67 people on the Iceland cruise because a few people signed up in Da Nang. They were like, I think they came to Da Nang just to check us all out, and they're like, okay, it's good. We'll go to Iceland.
They're good. They're good. They're real people. They weren't catfished.
Yeah, see if it was real people. So we do want to just answer questions today, talk about anything you want. I do have a couple things we're going to talk about, but we want to recap Da Nang a little bit too, because we did have an awesome time, and share stories of people that were there. If you want to share them in the chat, feel free. to do that as well. But we did have an awesome time there. It did exceed our expectations. I think the people that were there was great, and the city has actually exceeded our expectations as well. I don't know. What did you guys think? Were you surprised by Da Nang? Were you did you not know what to expect? What did you think about Vietnam in general? I know some people, it was their first time to Asia, they were like, this shocked me. Asia shocked me.
It is shocking on your first visit because you're trying to take in like everything, you know, you're using all of your senses to take it in. And then on top of that, you know, you're hearing this very foreign sounding language. And so it's a lot to take in on your first trip to Asia. Our first country that we went to in Asia was actually Hong Kong, which was pretty challenging, but it was really amazing.
Let's see, a couple questions. Ted's asking, how does Vietnam compare to Thailand?
Gosh, they're both great. They both have different things to offer. Thailand, it's hard because for us personally, Thailand is our second home. Like, we even just catch ourselves saying things like, oh yeah, when we go back home, we're talking about Thailand. So it's still kind of, that's how we see it. So it's hard to really compare it. But we do love Vietnam. We love the people in Vietnam so much. And of course, the food here is incredible as well. And the culture is amazing. The people are just so kind. I've shared a few stories on our social media accounts of interactions with locals here in particular, but those are the same type of interactions we've had with other people in Vietnam in the south and in the north as well. Which, speaking of, somebody asked how we got from Hanoi to Vinh Yên. We got a driver, and we booked that ahead of time.
Okay, so a lot of people have given like really good one-liners throughout the week. Monica Stevens just said, I can't wait to get my wallet back from Korean Airlines.
Bless her heart.
And that is true.
Poor Monica.
Monica lost her wallet, but I think they're going to get
on the plane.
I hope they're going to get back to her. And she had a very positive attitude, and the group really did too. But
yeah,
we're glad you're going to get it back, Monica. There was a couple of funny things that happened on the trip, like William Garnsey said one of the funnier things I've heard all year, so I'll tell you what it was. And so we were doing a group dinner the very last night, and to lead off the trip, we kind of split into groups of 12 and went to dinner, and William took a group to a restaurant, and it was a pretty good place. And so they said, well, if you want to bring all 50 of you back at the end of the trip, we'd be happy to have you. And I said, okay, great, because it's kind of hard to find a place that'll hold 50 people in a private room. So that's kind of how you just play this by ear, because you can't predict that kind of stuff. So we just played that by ear. And so William went over to make the reservation, and it was $40 deposit they wanted, which is $1 million. And he said to us, he says, well, since I'm a multi-millionaire here in Vietnam, I just covered it for you.
He said, I got you covered.
Because $1 million here is only $40. So he is a multi-millionaire.
He's got at least $160.
I don't know. We thought that was pretty funny.
Now we use that line all the time.
Now we use it. We're multi-millionaires here.
I'm like, well, I can afford that. I'm a multi-millionaire.
While I was telling the story, a lot of questions came in.
They did.
Yeah, better air conditioning in Thailand. Thailand is like...
yeah, that's true.
The Antarctica of air conditioning.
Seriously, people think I'm kidding, but I bring a jacket to wear on the trains because it is so cold. I have said before, I call it meat locker cold in the trains. Seriously, even the locals are wearing jackets. You see them wrapping up scarves. It's so cold on the trains there. But I'm not mad about that. I'm just saying it's cold. All right, we got more questions. What else do we have?
Let's see. David Nicky say Da Nang as a first Asia visit is awesome. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Da Nang is a good landing place.
That is good.
Yeah. Uh, was was the humidity worse than Florida in the summer?
Yes.
Allie says yes. I didn't
As
really.
someone who grew up in Florida.
I didn't really go outside in the sun, so.
Also, I would know because of my hair. And Cherie, also, I know you have had this issue as well with your hair. It's hard. That's why I usually wear it in a bun. Today I got crazy because I showered after the gym and I was like, I was drying my hair and I thought, oh, maybe I should do braids today. I didn't realize my hair was so long. I guess I probably need to trim it or something. Although it looks like my braids are not the same length. They really are. It's just that that humidity is hitting. So one braid is more up than the other.
David mentioned the food. He says the best parts of the meetup were the people, of course, the beach. The local people were lovely. We met some amazing local people. He mentions the food, though, but I did find some amazing Vietnamese food this week. I was out and about, and I was like, I gotta find something to eat. It was late. Looked on my phone. I saw a place that said Motor City Detroit Pizza. And I was like, well, I gotta go there. So I walk into this place, and there's a Vietnamese woman running it. She's like, oh, come in. It was pretty late. And I'm like, hey, I want to get some pizza. They're like, oh, yeah, this is amazing. So I ordered pepperoni Detroit-style pizza. And it was some of the best pizza I've ever had. And it was Detroit-style pizza. They even had the to-go boxes say like Motor City Detroit Pizza. And it says in Vietnam. And then there's like Red Wings logo, Tigers logo. And so I said to them, hey, I'm from the Motor City. So I'm eating this. And I did not have my Detroit shirt on. That would have been perfect.
If he had that pizza shirt on and he didn't.
But they were connoisseurs of Detroit style pizza there. They knew everything about it. And that was like the best pizza I've ever had. So I did find some amazing pizza here, which was great. Let's see.
I guess you could count that as Vietnamese. I mean, it's being made by Vietnamese people.
It was, yeah, it was. Let's see. I think I've missed some.
Let's see. Brown Eyed Girl is down to
15 days.
15 working days to retirement. Congrats.
I do have a question because Edmonton might win the Stanley Cup. Do you count that for all of Canada or only Alberta? Does the rest of Canada, does Toronto want Edmonton to win? I guess is the question. Does Winnipeg want Edmonton to win? Or do they not want Edmonton to do well? Let's see. What are Tanya and Martin? Hey, Tanya and Martin. What are the 3 locations in Southeast Asia you'd go on your first trip?
First trip, definitely, I would say 2 places for sure. I would go to Kuala Lumpur and I would go to Bangkok in Thailand. What other place would you say? This would be a good place.
Vietnam.
Or
probably.
Maybe down to Saigon, to Ho Chi Minh City. Trying to think of anywhere else. Yeah, I would say those 3.
Monica's asking what ship did you go on and would you recommend it? But I don't know. We didn't go on.
She must be talking to somebody else.
If you're talking to us, I don't know what ship you're talking about because we didn't go on a ship.
I think she might be asking someone else maybe.
Okay. Let's see. Brenda says her hair would be up. I just cut mine.
Oh yeah, Brenda, see, you've got curly hair too. That's why I tell people when people got here and they realize the humidity, they're like, totally understand why you always wear a bun in Asia. Except for Japan.
Linnell's videos have been making me rethink Asia.
I like it.
That was another cool thing. We did get to meet Linnell and spend quite a bit of time with her, so that was awesome. She is a big supporter of the channel and the communities. Let's see. Yeah, Brenda says Detroit pizza. Let's see. Canadians are for any Canadian team now.
Okay.
That's good to know. Uh, what's different about Detroit style? It's thicker, but not like Chicago style. But this was almost like a focaccia.
It was. It really was like it was focaccia bread, and then they put the pizza toppings on top. But it was light. It wasn't like real heavy toppings, like heavy sauce, heavy cheese, heavy, whatever the toppings were. It was all nice and light. It was very fluffy. It was, I can't really describe it. It was really good though. It was kind of like eating focaccia bread with pizza toppings.
Monica says in Da Nang, we didn't go on a cruise in Da Nang. We did go on like a riverboat. That might be what you saw.
Yeah.
But that was just part of like a tour.
So it was actually to Hue, which is not in Da Nang. It's a nearby city.
Yeah, and it wasn't something that we booked. It was just like I don't know that you can. It was kind of like a charter. I'm not sure you can just go on it by yourself.
Yeah, I don't know, because we just chartered it for our group.
It was like a day river cruise, but it was only like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. Thank you, Vince, for the super chat. That's amazing. Thank you. Tyke and Teen are hungry for pizza. Sorry about that. Hey, Filling the Brain is retiring August 26th.
Ooh, yay.
Wait, you're leaving for Bangkok the day before you retire?
I would retract that comment so your boss doesn't see it.
Philly and the Brain are going to take off a day early.
That's funny.
That is good.
I'm sure that's just a typo.
No, but that would be funny if you did
that. That would be really funny. If you're like, well, I'm out of here. Won't see you on my last day.
Where can I buy and find IHG? Where can I get notifications for IHG points?
There's not really notifications per se. Sometimes they'll send you an email, but honestly, I just check it regularly. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I'm already at my limit, I still check it because I always hope that maybe they'll just let it slip by and let me buy some more. I'm greedy with IHG though. I always want more IHG points.
Wait, Philly and the Brain say it's not a typo. They're leaving the day before they retire.
Okay then.
Okay, so that just makes me more intrigued to meet you.
You guys are hilarious.
That's gonna be a story. Okay. Let's see. The dragon boat was. Shree says the dragon boat was highlight for me. Sitting on the front with Linnell was a real pinch me moment.
It was. It was really cool because it was so peaceful up there, especially sitting up in front there. It was just a really peaceful moment, and it was very much so a slice of life because like the people on the banks, the locals were just going on about their day, and we were just, floating foreigners on a boat, and they were like, what's with these people? And they were just, they were even like swimming in the water and stuff or kayaking. It was just really a cool moment. So I can see how you felt that way. I did too.
When in Thailand, what are some of the best unexpected surprises that happened to you? I would just say it's always the same thing in Thailand. The unexpected surprises are just the people, the way that they treat you. It's unlike anything, if you really let them treat you that way, it's unlike anything you'll experience anywhere else. The people are just so friendly. I've had people do just crazy things for me that you would never even imagine, like crazy things. It's just wild. So
yeah.
I won't explain them all right now, but one day,
yeah,
it has been it's definitely the people.
Someone says, a couple people have said that they have the 100% bonus right now for buying points, expires June 13th. There is, I think, a link in the description to buy IHG points. So if you click that, you can see if you also have the 100% offer. They don't always give it to everybody. I don't know why, but if you don't have the 100, if you don't know, just click that. It's easier to find it that way. You go straight there and you can check and see if you get the 100%. Hopefully it is for everybody, except for the people who have already bought their limit this year.
We're actually doing pretty good today. We're keeping up with
I think we are.
the chat. Usually we're so far behind the chat, probably because we got on long tangents. That's good. Which means maybe I need to go on a tangent because I've answered all the questions.
Uh-oh.
I have a couple queued up. So.
Ask questions or he's going to go off on a tangent.
Yeah, I have a couple queued. So, yeah, we're going to try... we're on the other side of the river now, so we're going to try a couple new restaurants. We got to find a new massage place. We introduced quite a few people to massage for the first time, and it was kind of funny to watch, right?
It was really funny. It was really funny after the experience, and they were like, what did I just experience? Why haven't I been doing that all along? Everybody that went for the first time was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Why haven't I been doing this? I'm like, I've been trying to tell you, but you didn't listen to me. And they finally gave in and went, and they were like, okay, I'm doing that again. And then next thing I know, they're doing all kinds of treatments at the massage shop. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the last night, we kept going to the same place, and so they gave us their WhatsApp number to tell them
when we were coming.
And so we WhatsApped them on our last day, and we're like, oh, we're gonna come in for our last massage. And we get there, and the girl that had been massaging me for the most of the week was like, oh, it's my birthday today. I came in to massage you. I was like, what? Like,
she came in just because she knew we were coming in.
Why?
I was like, oh.
Why would you come in just to do that? And I was like, but that's just how it is. Mm-hmm. So it's like.
Not only that, they bought us, and I shared this story on our social media for Grounded Life Travel. They bought us beverages. We passed her at the coffee shop across the street from their shop, and I was like, oh, hey. And then she said, do you want coffee? I was like, yeah, I want coffee. I always want coffee, but Rob doesn't drink coffee. So she says, I'll get you a coffee. She brought me a salted coffee, which if you've had the salted coffee, you know that's a good choice. So she brings me a salted coffee to enjoy while we were doing foot massages, so we were sitting upright. So I'm enjoying my salted coffee while I'm getting my massage, but it was bothering them that Rob did not have a drink. They had provided him with water, but they were like, that's not good enough. They were like, what do you like? Do you like juice? Do you like fruit? They tried to bring him fresh fruit. They were like, finally he said he liked strawberries, and they were like, oh, we'll be right back. They call out to somebody outside the shop. They went off and did something. They went back to the massage. Next thing I know, somebody showed up with a strawberry smoothie for Rob to enjoy while I was enjoying my salted coffee while we were getting our massages. It was very sweet. All this, mind you, on her birthday, and she wouldn't let us pay her back for them.
Thank you, Darden. Appreciate that. Super chat. He says, is there a shareable Google Sheets you've made that keeps track of what credit card to use for what are the best transfer values, etc.? We do have a Google Sheets, and it is, I can see you have the membership thing next to you. There is a link in the membership on the YouTube. So if you go in there, there's a sheet that has all of our stuff, like hotels, our budget, credit cards, all that stuff is in there. So yeah, definitely there is one in there. And if you should be able to find it right when you go into the membership section of our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Yes. And yeah, someone was asking if it was the massage shop we go to all the time. No, we just
met them.
We just met them this week.
We had known them basically.
It wasn't like
we got here the week before. And we met them then, and basically we just patronized the shop for like 12 days. And we went like every other day practically.
Yeah, exactly.
But they were just so sweet, and they were just so curious. And they knew we were sending people to the shop as well, because we told them we were here with a group of people, and a bunch of people from the meetup were going to the shop as well. So they were like, ooh, your friend was here today. I'm like, well, which one? And then they tell me, try to describe them to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I do know that person.
Ted says, the community has grown phenomenally since he joined. You were one of one of the early people in the community. I think Ted, a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yes. Ted, did you come from the train channel from Grounded Life Travel? I
But-
think you did, but I don't remember.
But it but it has grown. Yeah, it's been great.
Julie just scored 200,000. Nice.
Yeah, we were just talking about buying some today. Yeah, the IHG points, Celeste, are generally more useful outside the U.S. Like in Vietnam, these hotels are all about 10,000 points a night.
Yeah.
Yeah. David says, ooh, he got the deep ear cleaning at the spa. It was strange. Not sure I liked it, but strangely looking forward to having it done again.
I bet you can hear really well now.
A couple, Jeff and Gary said they got that too.
Yeah.
We did not get that yet. I've not.
Well, I think they were doing that
Braved
at the men's at the barber shop, I think, where they were doing like the
Yeah.
shave thing, the straight edge shave, and then like a haircut, and then the ear cleaning. It was like a whole treatment with
Yeah.
hot towels and cucumber on your eyes, all kinds of stuff.
They said it was like $6, I think. So
It's crazy.
Ted is back in the #1 position. So
Oh,
let me do a quick check. Oh,
quick look.
Cherie has been moved to second by Ted.
Again, we're not really sure how fully
Not
this
sure.
competition works. We're just updating you.
Not sure if it's official in any shape or form, but
Yes. Well, someone was talking about you enjoyed the outfits that I had made. And I'm actually, I actually had a second batch of clothes made. I'm going tomorrow actually to meet her at the tailor's shop so I can try them on. I got some shirts done that I have been wanting. And I, again, just showed the designs. She actually came to the hotel and measured me at the hotel and then took it to the tailor. She wrote everything down just like she did the first time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this area is known for excellent tailors. I found one here in Da Nang. Hoi An is usually the place where people have stuff made, but I found one here that came really highly recommended, and I had her make some pieces for me, and they were challenging because if you watched my video on Travel Asia with Allie, I give you the whole process of everything and how it worked. And she did such an amazing job. Like the jumper that I had made was one jumper off 3 different ones that I sent her. And like the dress was 2 different dresses in one. So it was kind of cool. So tomorrow I'm going to pick up the shirts that I had made.
yeah, Tina, I think if you want to duplicate that piece of clothing, I'm pretty sure she could do it.
Oh, I'm sure she could. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have, I think the number.
Yeah, send me
just put the number in
a message in the group me, Tina. I'm assuming it's Tina and not Tyke. I'm just kidding, Tyke.
I would be willing to bet it is Tina. That is funny though. Yeah, so someone was asking a couple questions here. Should you start stacking up IHG points? We don't store them up like 3 years ahead because generally you can get 500,000 points a year. So like when you start to travel in December, you could get 500,000. And then in January, you could get another 300,000 typically. And then another 200,000 at the end of the year. So you get 800,000 to $1 million pretty quickly. If you're going to use like more than that, maybe you would. But we don't generally go through because like the hotels, like I said, here are only 10,000 points a night. So
yeah, so they go a long ways.
they last a lot. Someone was asking about some place in Bangkok to do treatments. I don't remember what the treatments were, but whatever the treatment was, I would be willing to bet that Bumrungrad Hospital has it. If you go to their website, just Google Bumrungrad, Bangkok. They have like a list of services, and you can scroll for like hours.
Extensive.
On all the things that they offer. Things I never even heard of. So,
Somebody asked about South Korea. We actually haven't been, but we will be going there in a few months. So we'll let you know when we go.
Everybody likes that dress of yours, apparently.
I love it myself. I was actually super, super happy with my clothes. So I'm really looking forward to the shirts. So stay tuned because I'll be wearing all new shirts coming up soon.
Welcome, Pierce Family Adventures. They're in Japan. Just
Ooh.
retired from the military.
Oh, thank
yesterday.
you.
Retired yesterday.
Wow. Thank you. And happy travels in Japan. We'll be there again later this year. We go there at least once a year for 2 or 3 months, and it's so worth it. It's such a great place. Enjoy it.
Emily wants a clothing batch number 2 video. So.
Oh, okay. Maybe that will be a member video. I'll show you what I got.
Seniors at Sea made them want to go to a tailor.
It was really amazing how well they fit. And on top of that, as you saw in the video, the adjustments that had to be made, they literally made it in 10 minutes while I was sitting there right in front of them. They were just little worker bees working away there, and they were so sweet. They were so happy that I was so happy with the clothes. It was so cute. Something really funny happened too. I didn't videotape this, but the original girl, Anna, who runs it, told the lady who was making the adjustments, because I was recording it all, she was like, oh, she's making a YouTube video, she's a YouTuber. Then the lady was like, oh, YouTuber? She brought me her phone and she wanted me to help her subscribe to my channel. So I pull it up and I put the information in, and she was like, oh, wow. And she subscribed to the channel, and then she started watching a video while she was fixing my clothes. So I'm sitting there listening to my own voice while she's fixing the clothes that she's making for me. It was really funny. It was so cute. I think I posted a picture of it in the stories on social media.
Heather's asking, any tips on how to get from Hanoi to Halong Bay? I think Cherie and Monica just did that a couple days ago. They went from Halong Bay to Hanoi. So they used a driver. Yeah, that's how we
can get a driver.
Just get a driver. That's pretty easy to do.
It's not too hard to do. You can even just ask wherever you're staying, just ask them and they'll help you get one.
Yeah, they're coming on the trip with us to Halong Bay.
So
you're probably asking for October.
From Hanoi. Oh, okay, that way. For some reason, I read it the other way around.
We're probably going to use this. You can probably use the same driver we're going to use. I think we're probably coming in a couple days before you. We'll give you the number.
Yep.
And let's see. If you were given the option, would you pick first Hyatt or IHG? It depends on how much you're going to do. If you're going to be able to get to 60 nights on Hyatt, Hyatt's the best program, but IHG is the most well-rounded program. So it kind of depends. If you could only pick one, depends where you're going to go. If there's Hyatts where you're going to go, I would pick Hyatt. If there's not, then there are always going to be IHG, so I would pick IHG. They're the two best programs for sure.
That's an interesting selection of questions and comments, Spencer. Did you see that?
Yeah. Braves took down my Expos. Top 3 intercontinental properties. Affordable. Okay. That's not hard.
Not hard at all.
I'm going to give you the cities because there's a bunch of them in those cities. But Kuala Lumpur, they have the most affordable one is in Indonesia. It's in Bandung, Indonesia. If you just want to go to a cheap intercontinental with a club lounge, it's like 10,000, 11,000 points. There's also a pretty cheap one here in Vietnam. It's at Ho Tram Beach. And the ones in Thailand are not as cheap. So, yeah.
They're a little bit higher.
Indonesia and Vietnam are going to be your cheapest. There is sometimes a cheap one in India, too.
Yeah.
Not always. Yes, I did get new shirts, Monica. Jeff Melson, I don't think he's on the chat today. But there is going to be a new shirt. Oh, I should have worn that tonight. Next week, there will be a new shirt debuting.
We'll both have new shirts on.
Jeff brought me a bunch of shirts, actually. And probably my new favorite shirt is a shirt he brought me from the Yomiuri Giants baseball game. And so if you've watched our channel at all, you know I have a shirt that says TYO with the Nike swoosh.
How could they not know?
I'm sure you've seen it a million times.
They've seen it.
It is now retired because Jeff brought me the replacement shirt. And it's the same team, but now it says Giants, which is their team name. Same colors. It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, I did get some new shirts, which is great. Let me scroll back down now. We've missed some here.
I think some new ones rolled in while we were chattering.
Yeah. I've missed I've missed a lot of questions here. Yes, thank you, Ted. And Ted has regained the #1 spot. Wait, no, maybe he had it all along. Okay, Heather is talking about that trip, so yeah.
Yes, okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll get in contact with you about getting you there. It's not going to be hard. You don't have to like plan it months in advance to get to.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, there's several.
We'll put it in the chat. We'll get that going soon. We'll put all that information in the chat.
Yeah,
it's in the course actually too. If you go to you're in the Retirement Travel Jumpstart course, it's in the trusted friends list for Vietnam.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Dave and Nikki has a business card with a QR code to the channel. So many merchants on the current trip loved it as I was filming. Most sub on the spot and started watching too. That's very cool. Yeah, when I was in the pizza place the other night, I was telling them that we were maybe going to come back and we'll make a video. Because she was talking about making a video of her store, and I was like, "Well, we could feature this Detroit pizza in a video. That's a no-brainer." Like
Rob's gonna be wearing his pizza shirt.
I'm gonna wear my pizza shirt. We're gonna do all this. Generally, people do love it when you film their business for YouTube, and most people here probably, I think, it's very, very interesting and dynamic because most people here would want to be in your video. But people here have been so friendly. Just walking around, so many people say hello to me at night. It's almost shocking. I text Allie, I'm out on a walk, I'm like, you won't believe how many people just walked up to me and said hello. They just walk up, hello. And even in the grocery store, kids will come up, hello. And they just want to talk to you. And it's really cool because people always wonder, like, is it friendly in Vietnam? It's so friendly. Extremely friendly.
Especially little kids. I mean, everyone is, but little kids, because they want to practice their English when they find out you're American. They're like, where are you from? We're like, from USA. And they're like, oh. And then they start talking in English. It's super cute.
Yeah, that did happen to me the other day. And there was 2 girls, and they came up to me, and they spoke really good English. They were about 10 years old, maybe. And I told them, they asked me where I was from. They always want to know that. I told them, and then they got really excited, and then they told their mom, and their mom got really excited because then they just talked to me for a long time because they wanted to use their English on a native speaker.
And the funny part is that they wanted him to take a picture of them with their own phone.
Yeah.
And little did they know they were asking a professional photographer to take their picture. I thought it was really funny and cute.
I don't know. It was kind of funny because of all the people on the boardwalk, which there was a lot of them, they asked me to take their picture, but I'm pretty sure it was because they wanted to speak English to me. Because they could have asked anybody. But it was really cool. You get a lot of really cool interactions like that in Vietnam. So it was very nice.
Ted, yes, definitely a baseball trip to Japan, multiple games is so worth it. Baseball, like, we call it America's pastime, but in all honesty, it should be called Japan's pastime because they are so hardcore. They love baseball so much, like with a passion, and everyone does. As a matter of fact, I've never seen so many women on their own at a baseball game, like full-on fan mode. I've never seen it anywhere else in the world. They were really hardcore. I loved it. It was amazing because I'm a baseball girl, so I love seeing other baseball girls too.
Living the vacation life. Just wrapped up a trip in
Mm.
Japan. Where should they go next? Family
Mm.
of 3, optimizing points. If you can make it in Japan, you can make it anywhere. Japan's the hardest country, so if you made it there, which it seems like you did, you're fine. I would try Vietnam or Thailand. Would be my 2 next choices. Because they're very nice. If the question is about optimizing points, though, I think optimizing points.
Yeah.
The cheapest countries would be Indonesia or Malaysia. So one of those 4 countries, depending on what your goal is. That's a good question right there. No, I've lost it. Is there a minimum?
I did lose it. I saw it also, but now I don't know where it is.
Oh, there it is. Moody Optimist. Is there a minimum dollar amount a person should have saved before they start a retirement travel lifestyle? That's a good question. Because there's a lot of moving parts to that now. Not to go over so much, but I think that the world is changing, and the world is going to change rapidly in the next 10 years due to AI. There's so many factors. Like, people are probably going to start living longer. Probably unemployment. Something might happen with that at some point here. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think what is important for most people is, and what was really eye-opening for a lot of people here this week, was one of the most important things you could do if you've never been to Asia is to come to Asia for a week or 2 and see if you could live in Vietnam. Like, see what it's like. Because you could easily live here on $2,000 a month. And I know people think that's crazy, but once you've been here, you'll understand that it's true. And that just opens up so many more doors for you when you know you could do that. Like, when we knew we were living on $8,000 a month in Atlanta, we were going backwards every month. And so when we actually started traveling, we actually started going forward. And it's actually way cheaper if you go to certain places to just do it than to stay in a place where it's so expensive. So, I don't know that there's not like a number that you need to have, but you need to have a monthly amount coming in somehow, either through a pension or Social Security or, a YouTube channel. And you probably need at least several $1,000s a month. But some people run out of options. And so, like, if you have no good options, going forward is better than going backward. So I would say that. But, like, most people would say you need a set amount of money. That's all going to be up for debate over the next few years. So
Yeah.
I will say, if you're in the situation where you need to make some changes, YouTube is a good way to start doing that. And, tons of people have jumped in that and are already making money doing that, because the great thing about it is you can do that from the road. And that's the problem most people have, is they're working a job in the States, they're making $5,000 a month at their job, but they're spending $6,000 a month in their house, and they're going backward. So
yeah. And actually somebody just mentioned it too, that Rob's new channel is, his investment channel is about getting income essentially from your investments. So that's a great resource as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I started. I haven't talked about YouTube. We'll talk about that right now, because we do need to talk about a couple things, because something amazing happened last week. So I started my YouTube channel about a month ago when we were in Cambodia, and my goal was to get that YouTube channel monetized in a month. That was my own personal goal. And that did happen. I did get monetized in 27 days, which was amazing. I was very excited and super happy. And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. I thought, that's pretty good. And then we got to Da Nang, and Laura Butler shows up to Da Nang, and her channel is Living on Cruise Control. So if you know Laura, she was waiting, like she was on the cruise with us last year in November, and she started her channel in Da Nang at the meetup, and it was monetized before the meetup was over. It took her 6 days to monetize her channel. 2 videos. Two videos, okay?
It was so crazy.
So I was just sitting there, and we were just looking at her channel. We're sitting around at dinner, and we're pulling up her analytics. I'm like, this is crazy.
Everyone was so flabbergasted
amazing. With it. I was just like, this is great. And I was like, and she was like, I'm so glad I started this channel. I'm like, yeah, I bet you are. So she started, yeah. Someone just said her first video got over 100,000 views.
Yep, it's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, so many things to say about that, but it was so amazing. So, like, she was like, I'm so glad I started this. And we seem to be seeing this happen a lot lately. We're like, people are getting monetized quickly, and it's people our age. You know, it's people... It's not the 20-year-olds that are getting monetized that quickly. It's the over 40 crew, because for over 40, YouTube is kind of a little bit of a cheat code because there's just so few people doing it, and there's so many of us watching it. And there's so many views out there. And yeah, Heather, HA Dream says, seems like cruise channels are the most popular. It is. We talk about in the course. Cruise channel is the #1 niche. It is by far, I think, the easiest and most lucrative niche to get monetized. It's not the only one though. Like there's tons of people in the community that are doing cooking or gardening or I'm doing investments. All of these are getting monetized quickly because, you know, this is not, there is now a proven formula that this can work on, and you basically need to just do the right things and not give up. And so like when I looked at her channel, I was like, oh wow, you took the very best part of the very best niche, and then you did an amazing job with it, and you did every single thing correctly. And it was like, this was not luck. She did not get, I'll say this, Laura did not get lucky. Because I talked to her afterwards, and she was like, I did this, this, and this, and this. And I was like, she did not get lucky. She did every single thing correct. And I was like, that was pretty amazing. And then I was like, wanting to pull her aside. I was like, I got some personal questions because this video was so amazing. So she was real nice. She answered all of our questions that we had about our video. But yeah, so the point of this is that if you're thinking about doing something and thinking about how much money do I need, most people end up wanting a little bit more than they have. And I think it's almost crazy at this point if you have something, because most people in our age range have some kind of knowledge. Having a YouTube channel is so good in so many ways, not only potential for money, but the outlet to speak about things. I like making videos, and I know you do too, just to be able to get things off my chest and be able to speak. Like, I don't ever feel like when I meet people that I need to like talk. I like want to listen to them because I feel like I got to say what I wanted to say on my video.
Yeah.
So thank you, Patty. Thank you very much. So do you feel like that when you make your videos?
Yeah. It's just, you know, you want to share stuff, and this is the way to do it. And you can share it with not just the people you know, but with people who are interested in what you are doing, or who are maybe going to the place that you're talking about, or maybe, you know, and it's not just travel stuff is the thing. I mean, we have several people in here who are doing a lot of different things, like Downsize to Upsize. She's doing, you know, organization, which is great. She does such a fantastic job, Brenda, on Downsize to Upsize, just breaking things down for you. And especially if you're looking at living this lifestyle, it's a fantastic channel. And that's has nothing to do with travel. It's about organization. You know, we've talked about Stacy's Simple Meals. She's makes crock pot meals. There's people doing all kinds of stuff on these YouTube channels. So don't feel like, oh, I don't travel, so I guess I shouldn't do one. It doesn't have anything to do with that. Every one of us has an area of expertise, and that's really the best thing. I mean, it's honestly one of the first lessons in our YouTube course is about the niche and how to narrow that down. I mean, it really, each one of us has something that we can share, that we are experts in, or that we know a lot about, or that we have a passion about. And it just makes it way easier. So it's not like you've got, it's so hard, you have to do research. No, if it's that hard, then that's probably not the niche for you if you have to do a lot of work on it. If it's something that comes natural to you and you feel like you have the information, then you don't have to. You know, then if you can do it on that. That would be a good niche if it's something you don't have to do a bunch of research on and it comes natural. Easy peasy.
Yeah, exactly. Couple things here. David's talking about the community YouTube tracker. There is now a community channel tracker in the YouTube community so that you can see whose channel is what in the YouTube community. So thank you, David, for putting that together for everybody. So if you haven't put your channel into that, go into the YouTube community and put your channel in, and then it'll show up on the list of all the YouTube channels. So that is pretty cool because the community gets kind of big and it's easy to lose track of what the name of it. It's hard to put the name with the channel sometimes. So David made that this week, and that's been pretty cool. And it is cool to see how many people are monetized on there. And the community has been extremely helpful for us, for other people. And, you know, I think it's much harder to do YouTube alone. I think most people would agree with that having some type of encouragement or just someone to talk to about it is important. So, yeah, go put your channel in the community tracker. If you're not in the YouTube community, the course in the community, there is a link in the description for that. I believe wholeheartedly it will really help you if you want to do YouTube. Just start out doing it the right way, and it'll be worth it because it's an amazing opportunity, as witnessed by some of these people. So Monica just got 1,000 subs.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah. Eric's asking, how much do you think things will be different in 3 years? AI, phones, gaming, still kind of want to get the Switch too. I think it's going to be very different in 3 years. Very different.
Yeah.
I don't know that our phones will be all that different, but you can already see.
You can see how it's starting to creep its way in.
Yeah.
More than creep.
I think they're easing us into it. Yeah. Let's see. Greg's saying, any suggestions on July through September for slow travel?
Where?
Slow travel.
Slow travel?
Yeah.
In any particular region? Or I didn't see
It doesn't
the question.
say.
July through August.
July through September.
Oh, July through September.
That's a good question because it's kind of like summer everywhere that
Just
we go.
almost everywhere.
It's
yeah.
warm.
I mean, Mexico is nice. I would go to some place like with a beach. Because I feel like, I guess it depends on what area you want to go in, because that time of the year is sometimes monsoon season, like say in Asia and places like that. So I would definitely check that out first, of which places you're thinking of. Make sure it's not during monsoon season. Like if you went to Bangkok, it's during monsoon season. So probably not ideal unless you want to be inside a lot. But yeah, I don't know. It just depends. But Mexico I feel like is always a good idea. Or South America.
Nikki says Central Valley, Mexico is lovely July through September.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you, Nikki. In the
thank
highlands
you.
of Mexico,
Yeah.
also.
Oh,
Retired
yeah.
Life Mexico.
We do
yeah.
have Mexico experts on
That's
here.
right,
So
we do.
we could just ask them. Yeah, if anyone has more suggestions, just leave them in there. Thank you, Seniors at Sea. We really appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Really appreciate that. Yes, retiring by the end of this year, that would be, you know, a huge thing. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
After Tokyo, best cities to do Hyatt in Japan. Osaka is, there's a cheap caption by.
How's Kanazawa?
It's good too.
Is that good too? Kanazawa is good. I love Kanazawa personally. Big fan. It's like a secret Kyoto, I feel like. It feels like Kyoto to me. That's where we did cherry blossoms last year, Sakura there, Hanami Festival there last year, and it was so nice. No crowds. It was a very chill environment, but you got to see the cherry blossoms in the old area. It was really, really beautiful.
Yeah, Ted says, Ted, you stayed at the Grand Hyatt in the Philippines in BGC. That is where we stayed.
That's
too.
where we stayed when we went there.
Yeah, it was top notch. The lounge was great, wasn't it?
The lounge was phenomenal there. Probably one of my favorites. Actually, it's in my video on Travel Asia with Ali of one of the top lounges in Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, round trip Amtrak coming up.
Nice.
We have done
Christmas
many
train
of
trip.
those.
Yeah, lots of those.
Retired Life Mexico. Gonna be in Cuernavaca.
Cuernavaca and San Luis Potosí. Nice.
Funny story. I took language school in Cuernavaca.
He did.
Back when I was in college.
Worked out really well for him.
Worked out real well. I'll have to tell you about my summer in Cuernavaca one time.
They had like these little index cards where they wrote things in Spanish, and they would go to practice at the market, and then they would be like, we still say it just to be funny, like they would say, "Hola, me llamo Roberto. Esto es todo lo que puedo decir." It was like, "Hello, my name is Robert. This is all I could say."
Yeah.
He would just say that to all the vendors in the market. I was like, what was the point of that?
I don't know, but by the end of the summer, I had some pretty good friends in that market.
They were like, oh, here comes this guy with the note cards.
Yeah, I would say exactly that. My name is Rob. This is all I can say. See you later. And I guess you were supposed to add a couple words to it every day.
He didn't.
I didn't learn a lot, but they did. I did communicate to one of the guys, though. This was in 1993, and I was in Cuernavaca, Mexico, and I really wanted to know. This is pretty much before the internet was. I didn't have the internet on my phone, that's for sure, and I didn't have it at where I was staying.
We didn't have cell phones then.
We didn't have cell phone, and so I wanted to find out the NBA draft was happening, and the Pistons had, I think it was Detroit Pistons had the second or third pick, and I wanted to find out who they were drafting. And so I somehow communicated that to a guy in the market in Spanish. I don't know how I did that. That was all I was studying, was how to tell them about the NBA draft. And so the day after the draft, the guy came to the market with a newspaper, and he had the NBA draft results for me when I showed up to the market. And so I found out that the Pistons drafted Grant Hill, which was pretty good. And so that's my Cuernavaca story. Plus, I remember trying to get ice there, and I could not get ice because they could not understand when I was saying ice. I wasn't saying it right. So that's too much on Cuernavaca, probably, but does Hyatt ever do a bigger bonus? No, they don't usually ever go above like a fake 60,000. It's not really 60, but they act like it's 60.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. High school Spanish. The problem I had in high school Spanish was we had I grew up in Michigan, obviously, and we had a Spanish teacher, but she didn't really speak very good Spanish, first of all. Okay. She wasn't Hispanic. And she went on maternity leave the first week of school. So we got a substitute Spanish teacher for the entire year, and he did not speak a lick of Spanish. But I will tell you, he knew a lot about the Detroit Tigers. So basically, we just talked about the Tigers the entire. That's all I learned. I didn't learn any Spanish. No. Luckily, Allie has taught me a bunch of Spanish.
Probably more my parents than I have. I think you've just learned by default whenever I say random things to you in Spanish. A lot of times I speak like half English, half Spanish to him. And he's just like, I think I get the gist of what you're saying, but not 100% sure. And sometimes I don't realize that I've said so much in Spanish and not enough in English for him to understand what I'm saying. And then he's looking at me and I'm looking at him and I'm just like, what? He's like, most of that was in Spanish. I was like, oh, okay. Whoops.
Seniors at Sea says Rick speaks very loud when he says hello in Spanish. He just yells hola.
He just goes around town yelling.
Sometimes people do that. I tend
That's
to speak
funny.
I tend to speak quiet other languages because I'm really not sure what I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Canadians can't get IHG cards. Marriott and Hilton. Which one of the two would you pick based on the program? Southeast Asia.
Marriott.
Marriott. Mm-hmm. Actually, we just met some Canadian friends who are in the YouTube course in Cambodia. And they got the Marriott one. And we met them at a Marriott there. And they said it's great. They have, high status, so they got the free breakfast and all that kind of stuff. So it works out pretty good. They seem to really love it.
Brenda says Jeff and the kids went to the Pacers versus the Pistons.
Ooh, fun.
Good memories. Pistons. I wonder if Jeff ever went to a Pistons game in the Silverdome. Ask him if he went to a Pistons game in the Silverdome. That was good times. Felt like you were a mile away from the court. Yeah, we only buy the IHG points when they're on 100% bonus.
That is it. It's not worth it at anything else.
Let's see. Oh, Jay's son has been living in Hanoi for the last year. Wow.
Oh, cool. I like Hanoi.
Yeah, Ted, it's mostly only Americans that can get the good credit cards. We hear that from Canadians all the time. Mm-hmm. They can't get the same credit cards. Actually, no one else in the world can get the credit cards that we can get. And so an IHG card is one they can't get.
Yeah, and it's so good.
It's bad.
Hi, Brian and Shannon.
Hi, Brian and Shannon. Welcome. We met Brian and Shannon on an NCL cruise, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Shannon came over to say hi because she recognized us, and next thing you know, we're friends. And we're hanging out in Bangkok together. We went to Songkran together. So we had water fights with little Thai children. It was pretty fun. We had a good time. That was a good day.
How do you keep from conversations you don't want to participate in? We've been in a travel situation where some fish for your thoughts on sensitive items. I don't think we've really ever... Well, yeah, it does happen every once in a while. We just don't answer.
Yeah.
They get the point.
Yep.
I could just get up and walk away.
Yeah, we just don't get into conversations with people that we're not... There's a lot of things we just don't discuss. So
that doesn't happen often at all, though, to us. Let's see. Carolyn's coming to the Hong Kong meetup. Mm-hmm. How long would be a good length of time to really spend there? 1 week, 2 weeks?
I mean, there's a ton to do, so it just really depends on if you want to explore someplace nearby or if you want to spend all your time there. I would split it 1 week there and 1 week someplace else, maybe Taiwan or even Vietnam would be good too, but that's what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 weeks might be a little too much. I would explore someplace else just to get the gist of someplace else.
Yeah, it does have to do with the bank. So the Canadians can get the Aeroplan card, which is good. And Marriott, apparently. And that's probably the second best country. But it's nowhere near what we can get. Yeah, David was jealous of the IHG Diamond free breakfast. It was a pretty good breakfast.
Yeah, it was good breakfast.
Breakfast here's been pretty good
Here's nice too. Yeah, it's even bigger at this hotel than at that one. But that one was really good. I mean, they had pho every day for 2 different soup choices every day for breakfast, as well as all of the, traditional Western stuff. But they had tons of Eastern stuff, which is what I usually go for. I like doing mostly Eastern, and Rob goes with the full Western. Not a full English, but what I call the full Western.
The full Western. Ms. K loves the hotel scoring reviews you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that very much.
We do like doing the hotel reviews.
I do.
Brenda says they lived real close to the Silver Dome.
Oh.
Oh, wow, you had your graduation ceremony there. You really did live close to the Silver Dome.
Fancy.
That would have been a dream for me. Yeah, I think David and Rush are talking about an area of expertise for YouTube. I think you'd be surprised at the things that you could do. Sit down and make a list of everything you're interested in. And even if you're not a quote-unquote expert, you probably have something to offer. Because a lot of people can teach things that they don't have like a degree in or something. But yeah, that is one thing. It is good to get to Asia a week ahead of time because of the jet lag. Ted's bringing up.
I like this, Adventures of Dave and Nikki, multitasking, listening to this live, and just hit publish on our new video. I love that.
That's good. What is the video about?
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is Dave because Nikki
is on as herself.
I just saw Nikki go on.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. So what is the new video about? Because we could pull it up here right after this live stream.
That's right.
We were watching all kinds of videos today on just new travel places. We went down a pretty big rabbit hole. And David was asking if I did get so this was funny because I've been struggling with my router with this thing for 6 months now. And we finally figured out this wasn't working. While Linnell from Poverty to Paradise had this with her in Da Nang, and she sold it to us. So
thanks, Linnell.
Now I have one, which was amazing because I don't think you could get this in Vietnam. So yes, David, I did get it hooked up, and it did activate the captive portal, but it did not work with ESPN. I think ESPN is having a problem.
And somebody asked if this works for people who are younger. I think I remember seeing that question somewhere. We do actually have several people in the course who are under 40 and who are doing the Retirement Travel Jumpstart under 40. There was actually a couple of them, I should say, on the meetup also with us under 40 as well. So it's not just over 40. We do have quite a few who are under, but obviously the advantages are more for the YouTube for over 40.
Oh, video is Punta Ponta Delgada, cruise port on a budget. No paid excursions. Yes.
That's a good place for that.
Yeah, it seems like every time you do a repositioning cruise, it always stops there.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
yeah. So it is a good cruise port to do a video on.
Yeah, we've been there several times. I know Linnell was just there. I'm pretty sure she did a live stream from there.
I think she did. She did. We were watching it, the live stream.
Yeah.
Because it happened to work out time-wise, because she was obviously in Europe.
Yeah. Ooh, Tanya and Martin just posted their latest video on Vienna.
Ooh, nice.
I'd like to watch that because the last time we were in Vienna, we were so sick. We didn't see a single thing. All we could manage to do.
Much. Just sit upright.
We went to the train station. We sat in the lounge for 9 hours, hoping they wouldn't kick us out. And at some point during the day, I got up the energy to walk outside and film a, hey, we're in Vienna. We're about to go to Italy.
It was a tough travel day.
It was bad.
That was in the train. What was that? The night jet train.
Night jet.
That the room was so small. I was claustrophobic. I'm claustrophobic. It was like so challenging. It was so small. Probably the smallest train sleeper room I think we've ever been in. I think we did a whole video about it because I was like, OMG, this is like a coffin. It was not good.
Yeah, Ted, good question about AI generated travel content. My question is, what do you think about it? Because I don't really like it. I wonder what other people think, but I don't. First of all, sometimes they're generating just stuff that isn't even real, like the place doesn't even exist. And then at other times, it's not real person's thoughts. And like, I generally will go to a channel and I'll like to see a channel, like I want to know that they are kind of on the same wavelength as me, and then I want their opinion. And so it's really hard to get that sense if it's an AI generated video. So I tend to, if I can figure out it's AI, a lot of times you can figure it out just from the thumbnail because it doesn't have a real person. And if it does have a person, it looks like a fake AI generated person. So generally I wouldn't even click them if I'm pretty sure it's going to be AI. And then if I do click it and it is AI, I pretty much always click out of it immediately because I just don't want to see that.
Yeah.
And I would think that that's going to be the case for a lot of people, but I don't know.
When you're taking advice about something like that, it's really tough. It's a really tough sell for AI. I mean, it'd have to be really incredibly intuitive to sell it. I just don't see it happening soon. It could. I'm not saying it won't, but it's going to be more challenging to sell that to people.
Yep.
Yeah, even people here have said that. Carolyn, I think, if I remember correctly, Dave and Nikki Poon were trying that Sky gig on the Trans-Pacific, or the Transatlantic that they just did. You guys can chime in and say if you did. And I'm guessing you'll probably do a video on it, so you'll probably hear from them on that. If you're still on here, chime in and let us know. Before we leave here, we'll be wrapping it up probably soon now. Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah. And
they did already do one. Yeah. Okay.
Gig Sky video is done. And they also just took over the #1 spot in the competition. And Brenda is in second, so.
Brenda, they bumped you.
Ted says, yeah, regarding AI, people are using it for their videos. I did just put a whole module in the YouTube course on using AI and how we use it. We do use AI to facilitate being more efficient.
The process.
In YouTube. We use it.
But not in the actual videos.
Yeah, we're actually real people.
It's for the beforehand.
Yeah, we don't
we're real.
We don't automate ourselves, but we do automate some YouTube tasks just to make everything go quicker. And so that is something you can do, but you don't want to like have it just be speaking for you or something. That just seems very bad.
Yeah. I think did we answer everything?
Yeah,
I think so.
We're pretty well caught up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we're even over time. You guys bought yourself an extra 20 minutes.
Let's see. I wonder when the competition is going to end. Probably when we stop this. So
I guess so.
Right now, Dave and Nikki are in first. Brenda's in second. And Pokes 28 just took third.
Ooh.
I really need to find out before next week how this is scored.
We'll get more information.
Well, thank you, Ted. Yeah, it's been fun. We will be back next week.
Next
We'll
week.
be at yet another hotel, though.
Switching hotels again. It's Catch Me If You Can summer in Vietnam.
We will be. I think we'll be in different hotels the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully some good ones. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brenda. Hope you guys all have a great day. Or those of you that are in Vietnam, hope you go to bed soon.
You have amazing things to see tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. That is weird. I was wondering who Pokes 28 was, but that is what it shows me.
Oh, that's weird, but that is Dave. It
does
say D right here.
Yeah, it's showing me your handle, not your actual screen name.
Oh,
yeah.
Weird. Huh.
That's weird, but I think you just lost third place. You did.
Retired Life Mexico just took it from you.
So it's almost like playing musical chairs.
Or they're tied.
When you stop
because they both say 3. You're tied.
Now it's tied. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
We'll end it on that
everyone.
note.
We're going to end it here.
Thank you, everybody.
We will see you
next week. Bye.